Randall Munroe, What If? Serious scientific answers to absurd hypothetical questions. What if? Number 1. Embark on a journey through a world of absurd hypothetical questions as we explore the key highlights and themes of the book, What If? Serious scientific answers to absurd hypothetical questions by Randall Munroe. Delve into fascinating explanations of complex scientific concepts in an engaging and user-friendly language. You'll learn about the potential consequences of living without the sun, meet gravity-defying inhabitants of tiny planets, and ponder the financial implications of printing the entire English Wikipedia. Discover the probability of completely vanishing common colds and the likelihood of humans meeting their soulmates, all while keeping your brain entertained and enlightened.
Darkness brings benefits. If the sun went out, Earth would face a horrifying fate. However, surprisingly, it would also have some benefits. For instance, the risk of solar flare and the subsequent geomagnetic storms would reduce, saving billions of dollars in economic damage. Additionally, the cost of building bridges would decrease as we would merely traverse across the ice. Moreover, without the sun, we could exist in one time zone, making trade easier. Nevertheless, since there would be no sun, we would all freeze and perish. While the thought of losing the sun is terrifying, it is interesting to note some advantages it brings. Life on a tiny planet. The Little Prince tells the story of a prince from a far-off asteroid. While living on a small but heavy asteroid is impossible, it's interesting to imagine the gravitational peculiarities we'd encounter. On a tiny planet like this, we'd experience Earth-like gravity at the surface, but it would decrease much faster. This means that our feet would feel 4 times heavier than our heads, giving us a stretching sensation. Despite this, we could easily run away from the planet with a sprint. The minimum velocity we need to break free of its gravitational pull is only 5 meters per second. The direction we run in does not matter, as long as our speed exceeds this number. If we do not run fast enough for this, we can still go into orbit around the planet. Although living on a small planet is not possible, experiencing it in our imaginations helps us appreciate the complexity and beauty of the universe. Print versus digital, the cost of keeping up with Wikipedia. Did you know that you only need 6 printers to print the entire English Wikipedia, despite the 125,000 to 150,000 daily edits? However, the cost of paper and ink needed for this project would amount to hundreds of thousands of dollars in just 1 or 2 months. While the electricity cost remains manageable, it's clear that digital is still the smarter option. Eradicating the common cold. If everyone were to quarantine themselves, the common cold would likely be eradicated. Rhinoviruses, which are the most common culprits, need people to travel between, and without new hosts, they eventually die out. However, quarantining everyone would have practical and economic consequences. Not all immune systems are in great shape, and some need mild infections to strengthen them. Economic activity worldwide would come to a halt, resulting in trillions of dollars in losses. Plus, keeping everyone apart would be challenging, with the closest person being 77 meters away on average. While it would eradicate the virus, causing the collapse of civilization isn't worth it. The odds of finding your soulmate. Discover how many people you need to meet to find your soulmate and why technology may be the solution. Have you ever wondered if your soulmate is out there waiting for you? What if we told you that finding your one and only may be a near impossible task? According to statistics, the chances of bumping into your soulmate are rather slim. Let's start with the assumption that your soulmate lives at the same time as you do. Even then, the odds of meeting your soulmate are minuscule. Pursuing this inquiry, imagine that you lock eyes with roughly 24 new people per day, 10% of whom are around your age. If we also estimate that a lifetime is approximately 60 years, you'll make eye contact with about 50,000 potential soulmates in one lifetime. Now, considering 7 billion potential candidates worldwide, we can say we have roughly 500 million potential soulmates, narrowing down to our preferred age range and gender. Unfortunately, that means we would need about 10,000 hypothetical lifetimes to make eye contact with every potential soulmate. Mind-boggling, isn't it? To add to this, even if you had that much time on your hands, you'd need to have considerable resources to afford it. Therefore, society may need to reorganize itself to allow people to spend as much time as possible making eye contact. The author suggests a modified version of chat roulette, where people could spend time video chatting to find their soulmates. In theory, if everyone had 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, and only a few seconds to know if someone was their soulmate, we could pair everyone with their soulmate within a few decades. However, in practice, this would be incredibly challenging, and only the wealthy would have enough time to spend their days looking for their soulmate. In conclusion, finding your soulmate may be a daunting task. However, with technology advances, we may be able to pair people up with their soulmates sooner or later. Human versus computer. A mid-range mobile phone processor is 70 times faster at performing calculations than the whole human population. However, humans and computers think differently, and there are many things that humans can do faster than computers, such as looking at a picture and inferring what has happened. When comparing humans and computers, we can take both pencil and paper and complexity measures of human brains into account and form an average of these two values, concluding that our overall performance is about on par with computers. The impossible perfect SAT score. The probability of scoring a perfect SAT score through guessing is virtually zero and will not happen until the end of humanity on Earth. Imagine taking a standardized test where you have absolutely no idea what the answers are. What if you guessed all the answers, would you still get a perfect score? This is the premise behind the SAT standardized test taken by high school students in the United States. The test is made up of 3 sections with a total of 158 multiple-choice questions, each with 5 options. This gives a 20% chance of guessing a correct answer. If all test takers guessed randomly and haphazardly, how many perfect scores would there be? None. The probability of scoring a perfect SAT score is 1 in 27 quinquadragentillion. Even if all 4 million 17-year-olds guessed on every question, no one would get a perfect score in any of the 3 sections. The chances of achieving a perfect score through guessing are so unlikely that it's almost impossible to comprehend. The likelihood of any high school student scoring 100% on just the math section alone, after taking the test a million times a day for 5 billion years, would still only be 0.0001%. Therefore, it's fair to say that achieving a perfect score on the SAT through guessing will not happen until the end of humanity on Earth. So, it's a good idea to study for the SAT instead of relying on pure chance. Facebook's future profile count. In the future, Facebook may have more profiles of dead people than living ones. As of now, around 10 to 20 million Facebook users have died, and it's likely that 290,000 users in the US alone died in 2013. The ratio of dead to living profiles will depend on how fast Facebook adds new young users. If Facebook continues to lose market share, the number of dead profiles could surpass living profiles between 2065 and the mid-2100s. It's possible that Facebook may remain a staple social media for generations, pushing the crossover date until 2130. However, considering how fickle the internet is, this seems unlikely. The truth probably lies somewhere between the time frames mentioned above.
As we conclude this summary of What If? Serious scientific answers to absurd hypothetical questions, it is evident that the book delivers engaging and thought-provoking answers to a plethora of outlandish scenarios. By blending scientific concepts with imagination, Munroe demonstrates that exploring bizarre hypothetical questions can enhance our understanding of the world and its complex phenomena. From the complexities of human-computer comparisons to the profound impact of the SAT guessing game, this book leaves us with a newfound appreciation for the curious enigma that is our universe, while underscoring the importance of maintaining an inquisitive mind.